I don't really know what's going on over there other than everybody's dumb.
The instant you step out of line, you say something that they don't like and they don't like you personally, they're going to use all those pre-existing laws and they're going to use it on you.
A woman exposed her male genitalia to women and underage girls. That's what happened.
It's pure propaganda and it's super cringe, by the way. It's super cringe.
Today at unauthorizedopinions.com, Spotify, YouTube, Twitter, whole bunch of stuff. How is everybody?
Twitch. Don't forget Twitch.
Twitch. We always forget the Twitch people. Lewis Brackpool.
I never
Eric
forget
Butler,
Twitch.
Jason Scoop. Canada, England, United States. Jason, where are you coming to us from?
I'm in the center of Manhattan right now. I'm at my buddy Ron Barba's place on 8th Avenue. I've been out here today filming, hit the Rockefeller Center tree. I'm going to be Trump, at and Burr and Sebastian Maniscalco and Sleepy Joe Biden. I'm going to bring them all out. Yeah, man.
That sounds very expensive. Lower the numbers get, the more expensive it gets, right, you guys? Is that how it works?
I appreciate you coming on, man. I know we've been trying to make this work for a couple of weeks now, so thank you.
It's been fun.
Oh, he cut out there. Missed it.
That's okay. He said the pleasure's all mine or something like that. Lewis, coming at us from England. High, probably off of an England victory today in the World Cup. How are you?
I'm wearing the jersey.
Soccer.
That'll be done. I did see, though, whilst the Senegalese stood there, and it was a bit like, damn, why we're still bending the knee. Extremely
Is Lewis cutting out a little bit too? Am I tripping? Is Lewis cutting out a little bit?
No, he's cutting out a little bit too. Yeah, talk louder. Remember, everybody, that Lewis can be arrested for anything that's said. Being from England, we talked about Team England taking a knee today again against an African team who's not taking a knee, so that's a lot of fun. I'm wearing a beanie today. I'm going to be playing the role of Tim Pool for everybody, but it makes it a little bit hard to hear, so I might have to take it off. But that's why I never wear a beanie on the show. So if anybody's wondering, I'm not going bald. The thing we're going to talk about most here is, Elon, Twitter releasing all this stuff about Hunter Biden, Kanye West, all this stuff, firing Milo Yiannopoulos. Eric, you take it from the top. You're the biggest Kanye fan. Are we still Kanye fans? Where are we at with him now? How do you feel?
Yeah.
Without getting Lewis arrested.
Yeah. I'm obviously still a Kanye fan. That's why I wanted to bring Jason on to see, because I think he's probably one of the only people that I think might be in the same Kanye fanboy boat as me, and see where he's standing on this. But obviously, yes. Look, bro. I was listening to College Dropout in 2004 when I was a kid, when I was a youngster. So I'm not going anywhere. But I think, look, long story short, it's not really that difficult, bro. Like he's saying all of these things. He's going around all these shows, doing all these interviews that he could obviously just avoid. But he's trying to make a point. And I hope, this is me obviously coming to you as number one Kanye fan, is that he's trying to make the point that he can say whatever he wants and you can disagree and just keep moving on with your life. And you don't have to cry, and you don't have to try to put him in jail, and you don't have to freeze his bank accounts. He's just saying things that you don't like, and you can say, I think that's wrong, and here's why I think it's wrong. You don't have to try to force him into jail. I think that's the point he's trying to make. I could be wrong. Again, that's just me being number one Kanye fan, so I don't know exactly what's happening. But yeah, it doesn't. I mean, have you listened to Real Friends recently? It's still the same. Sounds the same to me. So that's where I'm standing. And yeah, I think I'm curious to know what Jason thinks about it because it's just been getting. Look, put it this way, bro. Kanye's been in the news basically every day for what 2 or 3 months now. So it just keeps getting better or worse, I guess, depending on who you're asking. And yeah, I'm curious to know what everybody else thinks about it as well.
Yeah, Jason, give us your feelings nice and loud and clear. Use that New Yorker voice, please. Go ahead.
Yes, I still love Kanye and his music. He very intentionally, like Eric said, was trying to see, like just take it. I don't think he gives a crap anymore. Adding everything, I think he's just trying to go nuclear. He's a very playful guy. Obviously, I think Hitler was probably a bad guy. Actually, I would say definitely a bad. Nazis probably not positive, but since I was a kid, if somebody gets in trouble, I just like them more. I loved Michael Jackson, and when I was a kid, he was like on trial for child molestation. Ellie, and I think he was definitely guilty. Mel Gibson, they canceled him. Cancel culture victims. He went off on the Jews like Kanye. But I think if Michael Jackson and R. Kelly were accused of sexually abusing, Kanye just said words. So I think that there's a ginormous. Kanye still has so much capital all over the world with fans. If he just about 5 years, he could be back in the mainstream because the music is so good. Kind of similar to before Michael Jackson passed away. He sold out 50 concerts at the O2 Arena in London. I think he was supposed to be $1 million personally, and then the shows themselves were supposed to make about $1 billion. But I think like the music speaks. People want to, it's free. He would sell out Madison Square Garden, I believe, because he's that good. So I I just like people who don't give a crap and push the. I disagree with what he said about Hitler. So what? I disagree with a lot of things.
Now, Lewis, I feel sorry for you already. With any of this, would any of these shows even like? Let's say Kanye goes, and I'll take you off full screen for a minute, so I'm not putting words in your mouth. But any of the stuff that Kanye talked about, let's say in the first tweet or whatever he put out, do you think anybody would have had him on a show in Great Britain, or even if he had the one thing with Piers Morgan after that? Do you think anybody would have had him on? Do you think there would be even greater outcry in Britain?
So I would have thought no this time, by the way. Can you guys hear me okay?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay, all right. Just thought I'd double check. So I think it's important. You can like music, actually liking the artist, political opinions, offline. Extreme case with Kanye, InfoWars, like Hitler, and that's you hear from the artist of this generation, or technically this generation. I completely, pretty much everything he said. I think there's a lot of rebuttal back. Shame we didn't actually get to settle. I know Tim Elm to him, which I thought was the wrong way. I think a nice bit of pushback. Music's still music. It doesn't when you put on a record. It doesn't have a go at you just point. If I put on the 1970 and it was shouting back a record, I'd stop listening to it, of course. But because
I'm having trouble. It's like
it's cutting up a lot, unfortunately, Lewis.
Okay.
I don't know.
No, it's just jumping back and forth. It's working when he's talking in short spurts here. But what I think he's trying to say is, you can listen to a lot of people's music without actually having to agree with everything they say. Now, my biggest problem, see, it gives me some thumbs up. I'm a British, translator. I watch a lot of Chef Ramsay. My biggest problem with this is not with Kanye. My biggest problem with this is with the people who, on the right wing particularly, say, oh, I'm all about free speech. Elon Musk is the greatest for bringing free speech to Twitter. And my gripe with those people are, of course, you don't have to agree with Kanye. Again, what Jason said, I would echo pretty much. Of course, he's saying crazy things right now. And I don't agree with most of them. Like, I thought his performance on Alex Jones was literally him trying to appeal to high school people that are fans of Nick Fuentes, whom I'm not really a fan of, because he's like a high school kid. Like, his ideas are not well fleshed out. He fleshes them out on the air. And I feel like Kanye was doing his best to appeal to those like edgelord kids. And even on there, he said nobody knew about these people in high school until Kanye talked about them. So that's how I thought about that. But all these conservatives who say, you don't have to agree with somebody to support their free speech, those people are falling by the wayside. And I'm interested to see what happens with Candace Owens, who was right by his side until her network said that we can't have him on. Now, would I blame her for that necessarily, not having him on? I don't think so, but it depends how much of a friend you are, but also your friend has a responsibility to, not screw you over. Having said that, on Twitter, I don't believe Elon Musk is actually pro free speech. He said all this stuff before he bought Twitter, that it's the town square, everyone should have a voice. And then he started rolling out his program against hate speech and bragging about how there's less hate speech on it. You can't deny certain events. And I'm not saying it's right to deny 9/11, which is on there. Of course, I wouldn't deny it, but can you question that? Who gets to decide if you are debating official stories, if it's okay or not? There's all these different questions that come out, obviously, and we've all had this conversation before. And then Elon messages Kanye allegedly and says, "You've gone too far." And Kanye says, "This is let this be my last tweet." Is Elon getting showered by another man with a hose? But the point is when it comes down to it, man to man, you're banning a guy from your platform because what he's saying you think is mean. It's too mean. If Eric was to get on my platform, let's say, on Andrew Says or something, and say, Andrew, you're a dirty Canadian. You wash your face with maple syrup. All you care about is hockey. And then I said, you know what, Eric, that's too mean. You're offending Canadians. You are no longer allowed to be on this platform.
I would say that.
You're not breaking the law. I'm not breaking the law. I can take somebody off of my own platform if I want, if it's my company, blah, blah, blah. But that would mean if I was to say that my platform was the town square, then I don't necessarily believe in free speech. Free speech doesn't have an opinion or a side or feelings. Is somebody breaking the law under the U.S. Constitution? If the answer is no, then they're allowed to say whatever they want, unless it's, again, liable to be breaking the law. All these different things would be breaking the law. But if you're mad at somebody and you want to kick them off because they've said things you determine to be mean or untrue or whatever, and they're not breaking the law, then you're not for free speech. And that's my opinion. Lewis, did you want to jump in there?
Yeah, can you hear me? Is that all right?
Yeah, just try to talk loudly, and I think it should be okay, yeah.
Okay. I'll try and speak as loud as I can. But important to know that, like I said earlier, I enjoy the music that they make, but disagree with their political opinions. When you say that it's a performance, if you see the scenes Kanye before he goes on with Nick, he's calm, he's doing all that. He was having I actually disagree. I think it was created, and I completely disagree with what he was saying, because it was just ridiculous. But breath, if you're going to tout free speech on Twitter, unfortunately, that's the game. You're going to get these is abhorrent. If you truly believe in freedom, you have to. If you want to say you're a free speech to keep the people that you unless it's inside
cutting out too much. I'm sorry, Lewis.
Yeah, I don't know what's
sorry.
wrong with your.
We can make up what he's saying. It's not your fault, Lewis. It's the British government's coming after you.
Well, here's my thing. I just have a question, really quickly, and this has nothing to do with the dissent or religion of these guys, but the media is clearly more angry with Kanye West than they are with Weinstein or Epstein. That's just a fact, and I don't think that really makes
for that.
Or Balenciaga, and that's off
the rug.
But
story evaporated. The Balenciaga story is Bigfoot now. It just evaporated. It doesn't exist. It's gone.
Kind of like the Q shooter. The Q shooter just kind of evaporated. But Jason, so I am very curious. This is one of the reasons that I've been trying to bring you on. Obviously, because I wanted to talk Kanye, and I think we're pretty much on the same page as far as that. But I mean, you're in the. I mean, what we I think we were at Herald Square when we met like a handful of years ago. But
yeah,
what I mean is what I'm getting in the news accurate? Like, is New York? I mean, look, it was always a little rough around the edges. I think we can agree on that. But like, are we? I mean, we're talking about constantly subway shovings and you see these crazy videos of cars smashing into things. I mean, is it getting worse? Is it getting better? Like, I left there in the late 2020. Like, is it quote safe? I don't know.
I'm only getting worse. Everybody at least knows one person who's been robbed. And I think that's mainly because of one thing, and that is that's arrested, they just get let right back out. And if you're like a normal has jobs or whatever and doesn't want to fight, you go back to court. But if you're a bum, they let you out, you don't show back up to your court date. Like, you just stay out on the street. I think that's the number one reason. If you have nothing to lose, you're not going to go back to court. That would be insane, skipping out on court. But I blame the government for letting these people out and keeping them out on the streets. Very lucky, knock on a lot of wood here. Haven't been the victim of violent. But my parents tell me about the 80s and the.
And we lost him. Connection just dropped out. I can see it on.
Great technology day.
Okay.
Yeah, really.
Can you hear me now? Like, does that?
So I can hear you. You're coming through fine. It's just like so choppy, and I don't know why. I don't know if it's me. I don't know if it's Andrew. I don't know. Like, I can hear you.
Me.
We got that fine. It says his network connection's in the yellow is why.
So we lost Jason completely.
Jason's back now.
Okay.
Lewis, do you want to jump back on with us on Instagram right after this?
Yeah, I don't mind. Yeah.
All right, we'll see Lewis back. Lewis's fans in the UK. Yeah, we can hear that. It comes in and out. We'll go on Instagram with Lewis right after this.
Hello.
We'll talk to you in a minute. Yeah, we got you, Jason. Okay. Sorry about that, Lewis. We'll talk to you in
very professional show. Very professional.
I know, right? It's because I've got the Tim Pool beanie on. I think I was cursed.
All right, where were we?
Let's get Jason in widescreen here if we can.
Okay.
There we go.
All right, there we go.
I'll be the big tough guy.
You were saying that you basically kind of everybody knows somebody who's been a victim of a crime. Basically, like it just sort of it's in the air, right? Like people, they're aware of it, but you can't really shake it. I don't know. I get this. Here's the thing: is like I get this like FOMO. It's like I've left the city 2 years ago, and I always just think like, oh, it's all gonna get better, and I'm gonna greatly regret not still being there, and I just don't know. Maybe the trash is getting picked up. Maybe Eric Adams is amazing and he's cleaning up the city, but every story I get, it doesn't really seem that way. But we all also know that the news is fake. So I'm just trying to get like a realistic point of view from it, I guess. Now we're looking at his kitchen.
And now we're live in his kitchen.
What happened?
We're really
There we
really
go.
showing everybody how it's done here today. Thanks for everybody sticking with us on Getter, on Twitch, on YouTube, and Twitter, of course. You want to repeat your question there to Jason?
Oh yeah, did you hear me? Can you hear me?
You can't hear us. Eric, it's back to you and me. I just really have a problem with, first of all, this platform. That's what I have a problem with, but let's ramp it back up here. All this stuff on Twitter, Eric, where they're dumping off this Hunter Biden stuff now. Do you think anything's actually going to come with this? Of this, because every time something like this happens, it seems to incriminate certain people. I mean, the Biden laptop stuff was already out there. It's been out there for 2 years, and nothing came of it legal wise, as far as I know, to the the powers that be, and it's out there the whole time. And now it's the DNC collaborated with Twitter in order to get them to pull it down, which is allegedly, I'm hearing, against the First Amendment. Of course, the government getting somebody, a large corporation, to silence somebody, their free speech. That's against the law. That's something that's not allowed. Whereas Elon's allowed to, say, "Hey, you're being mean to me. You can't be on my platform." Do you think anything's going to come of that now?
No, of course not. Well, look, it's how many things I bring this up all the time at work. It's like, oh, maybe today's the day we're going to hear about the consequences for Juicy Smollett, right?
Or
Like,
what's the guy from NASCAR?
Bubba Smollett, or how about or how about what's the old white guy, the old actor who shot the girl?
That would be Alec Baldwin.
Yeah. What about him? Are we gonna? I made a bet. I placed a bet with a friend of mine that I didn't believe back when it happened, was a year ago now, that he wasn't going to face any charges. He was like, "Yeah, he is. I know people in Hollywood say it's looking really bad for Alec Baldwin. He's going to face charges." Oh yeah, okay, all right. Well, you owe me $100, bro. It's been a year. I didn't
That's
get any
the
charges.
equivalent to when people used to say, the early pandemic stuff where people would say, "I've got a source inside the military that tells me this." That old stuff that, everybody's going down. They're sending everybody to camps. I mean, they did in Australia, but they didn't have a problem with it, the Australian people, for the
Well,
most
why?
part.
Hold on. I'm sorry. I'm genuinely curious. Like, I can hear you fine. It looks like you can hear me fine. I don't know why both of our guests were technologically.
I don't know. I think Jason's there. I can see. I'm waiting for it to be stable, but I think he can hear us now.
Yeah. Okay, I'm back. Hey guys, sorry
Yeah,
about
I don't
that.
know. I don't know why we're having such technical difficulties today. I'm not
Well,
sure.
I think Lewis lives in somewhere rural. He was here a couple weeks ago, and he started downloading stuff. He's like, "Oh my god, look at these speeds, 2 megabytes a second." So he must have some. And Canada's got some of the worst Wi-Fi in the first world, as far as I know. So
Well,
Britain must be bad. I think Jason's probably just on his phone, is what's going on here.
Yeah.
he's in the middle of the world. Like, he's at the center of the earth right now, and so 8th Ave and 51st or whatever he said. So I forget where we left off. Were we talking about the cry, Eric Adams and stuff? Like, this guy. There's a lot of these memes going around about how Eric Adams is the only mayor that knows where the bitches are at, knows where the hoes are at. So is he actually? I mean, does it feel any different than De Blasio? Is it worse? Is it better? Is it the same? Am I missing out? I don't know.
I hated De Blasio so much, and I haven't really sussed out Eric Adams yet. I just hate him way less. Everything about De Blasio, he ignited a physical. Yeah, De Blasio. Yeah, and once again, he's not perfect, but he's not Bill De Blasio.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I guess that's how low the bar has gotten, though, right? Like, just
Extremely low. It almost doesn't.
So did you get the vibe? Did you get the vibe that that Zeldin actually had a chance? Because I'm a skeptic. I never really thought he had a chance. I mean, when you're out there, like, did you talk to anybody? Like, you're like, oh yeah, like, I voted for Zeldin, or I like Lee Zeldin, or I'm sick of Democrats. Was there anything like that?
Well, social circles, yeah, I know a lot of Zeldin people, and I'm always optimistic. So I'm always thinking, yeah, like I'll always bet against the odds, but obviously, but he came a lot closer lot of people thought. And also, Lee Zeldin said something recently that I think should be focused on, which is the ballot harvesting and mail-in voting. Like, the Democrats are zoning in on mail-in voting and like literally knocking on people's doors. Hey, do you hate Donald Trump? Yes. Here, if you never want Trump or anybody who supports Trump or likes Trump ever again, we'll mail it for you. And I think Republicans are stick to the traditional show up. They just need to beat the Democrats at their own game. And I think bigger and bigger. And I think Republicans need to do what the in terms of getting out the vote.
Yeah, I think they're not even playing the same game, I think. And, for lack of a better term, I think typically what we see is like, Republicans want to, they want to play by the rules. They want to, I mean, as far as we know, I'm sure they're doing just as much, weirdo insider trading and skimming off the top and stuff. But on its face, they're not quite they're not quite as manipulative. And they don't have Mad Max Waters telling you to go get in the faces of somebody in the Trump administration and then backtrack and say, their rhetoric is so dangerous. It's like, you literally told people to push back on them and scream in their faces while they're eating brunch, and now you want to pretend. So they need to come up with another plan. I have some suggestions for the GOP if they want to reach out. We can talk.
EricsPlan.com.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, I was just curious about that. Like I said, I do want to make a trip back. Maybe we could do some videos or talk to some people or something, because I'm trying to
on the street thing. I'm always out there.
Yeah. I kind of want to do a two bird one stone, like to both of your guys' respective cities in, I don't know, a couple months, 3-4 months.
You're going to offend so many people in Canada. When I had two guys from Seattle, and this was 2017, I think, come up here, they just started asking people questions, and it's tough enough in Toronto to get people to stop and answer, but even the people they got to stop and answer, they were like running away. The people's questions were they were so aggressive with them, and it's just, people are so much more easily offended here. You have to sort of like, coax them, not even coax them, like ease them in with their feelings to get them to answer questions. There's definitely a hierarchy of people based on age and gender and background here, which you will get answers from. And it's sad, but it's true, because if you go up and you ask like a group of white girls, you know what they're going to say for most parts in like a
That's
really
racist.
left city. Yeah, these white girls are ruining society. Quoted by Media Matters, Andrew Chapados says. But I would look forward to that, Eric, and I would look forward to you, really learning the Canadian game of how it's done here. Something I wanted to comment about.
Tom Green.
What's that?
Was it Tom Green was our original man on the street?
Like Canada, like in Ottawa, I think.
Yeah, Tom Green was he's from Ottawa. He was the original man on the street. He had a cable access show for a long time before he got MTV. So that's some very good Canadian lore and knowledge, Jason, that you're showing here.
I forgot about that.
To this day, having gone back and watching some of Tom Green's stuff on YouTube recently, of his old stuff, to this day, it seems like I'm still somehow influenced with him, but I do a lot less of his just sticking his ass onto people than he did, which was, and his just repeating the same thing over and over again. I think one of the funniest ones, if I don't know, Eric, you're going to need to see this, where he just starts, goes up to a drunk, like homeless lady and just starts humming a song, and she just starts humming it back to him. And he just goes on forever and ever with this. He goes, and then the woman just does it back to him. And they do this for like 10 minutes. It's the wildest thing. And of course, him going into like department stores and using the intercom and saying, "Mom, I'm lost." It was a big thing when I was in grade 8.
I do not really remember too much. I definitely don't remember anything pre-MTV Tom Green. That's for sure. I didn't know who he was before that. I mean,
because it was on cable access.
What's that?
About New York, though, the Lee Zeldin stuff getting close. There was this weird thing that happened in the elections in New York where they knocked off like the DNC chair, and I think it was what's the DC triple C something leader.
Democratic
In
Committee something.
in House races. So there's this weird influx of Republican support in I think it was northeast of the state, and because Kathy Hochul sucks, De Blasio was so bad, and who was the other one where I'm thinking of Michael Bloomberg and all his stuff, but definitely a big influx there as compared to, we can talk about Pennsylvania, John Fetterman, which we talked about extensively on the show. Go back to our election show on that one. And
never forget
man, is
Elliot
that
Spitzer
entertaining.
too, by the way. Elliot, I didn't live in New York for Elliot Spitzer, but keep in mind that the last two governors of New York were forced to step down for one reason or another. Cuomo doing his little grab ass thing with the interns or whatever he was doing, which I don't believe that was really the reason why he stepped down. We can talk tinfoil hat stuff
He was
about
doing
that.
it at parties where his wife was present, though, so that's hard to get around, I'd say.
Well, I got some. I think Cuomo was a victim of the Me Too hysteria. One of the women who came out against, I quote, he hugged her for too long at a Christmas. The year, get this, in the year 2000. That is a 9/11 hug.
That's a great point.
There's a different world back then, Jason. There's a different world.
Right,
there weren't even those.
You make your bed, you lie in it. He supported Me Too all the way, so good. But also, a male person that exists in this world, this is almost like the Five Party lines, and it's the me, and also, I don't read the Daily News, but article, it was like the Cuomo allegations reassessed a year later, and they basically, half of them, they're like, this woman wasn't even in the state when and the holes in those accusations. It's just the Me Too hysteria, and it also made me sick how he was put up by the left during COVID. All these second, they have no loyalty. There is no loyalty. It is a level of I don't know if you want to call it. You don't even want to call it narcissism, because it's like this. It's mass. Go with the cool crowd. Whatever the cool Democrat crowd tomorrow started saying, well, it's cool to eat babies. People would be eating babies. They've been eating babies for a long time. Like, it's totally cool. Like, think for themselves. Of the two parties, I think the Democrat Party, for the most part, does not think for.
No, they don't. They don't know
the
what's
thing
going
about
on.
the New York governorship is when something gets that massive, and they would do this for mayor of New York, Chicago, and LA, and governor of California. When it's that massive, they have to pretend like that's the greatest person in the world, and when they do something terrible or they get caught like Cuomo did, they just have to pretend it didn't happen. It's worth too much for them, because imagine if they lost the governorship, the gubernatorial election of New York. Imagine if they, what are you doing? You have to be governor. That should be a movie, by the way. You got to be governor, and then you become my sidekick, and we do all the things. We take all the people from downtown, and
the governor, and he just for the record too, he went full authoritarian though. He went full authoritarian. After he was governor, he was like, "Yo, screw your freedom." I can't do the impression.
Well, he would just. Somebody needs to ask him about Kanye.
Riding around on a bicycle during lockdown. He was riding around on a bicycle all around LA, being like, "Looking home," and then the comments were all like, "Yeah, but bro, what about you? You're like, fuck." He's like, "Everybody's listening. They're staying home," and he was out riding around. Like,
at least he didn't go to French Laundry. I mean, French Laundry got, is in Drake songs. You know what I mean? This is the most luxurious one of the most luxurious restaurants in the whole world. And Newsom ends up there with some weirdo pharma lobbyist or something, and it says, "You guys should have stayed home." And then the mayor of San Francisco does it the very next night, bro. That's what they think of you. The next night, She's at the same restaurant. Like, they don't care, bro. They think, and look, having come back from California recently, you can, bro. It's in the air. I don't know exactly how to explain it, but like, you can see that it's done, bro. Like, the people, they are zombies, bro. They zombie walk everywhere. They do not care. They do not know what's going on. If they, like you said, if they say, hey, you know what, the healthiest thing to do is to eat baby sandwiches, they would do it. I mean, you can tell that there's no fight in them. There's no it's worked. Like, the best I can say
Right.
is like mission accomplished. You know, they did it. Mission accomplished for the establishment.
Yep. I was in LA in
Uh,
March of this year, and
mhm.
it just hit different, man. It hit different. Exactly. It was just not what it, you know. At least New York, there's a drop. Even in the height of the lockdown, all these liberal comedians, they're putting on shows and basements. That was LA. Everyone's like, I don't know, man. I guess we should just be wearing masks forever. It's
Yeah. I don't know how they do it, bro. I don't know. Like, the New Yorkers, as bad as it is, like with, whatever De Blasio, Adams, and like, the overarching like brainwashing that they're attempting, it resonated in California, and they just wear it, bro. Like, I mean, you could see the videos. You could watch like Leroy Press videos of like all these, they protest drag hour, and they protest Balenciaga, and they protest the lockdown. That's not happening in LA, bro. That's not happening in San Francisco or Oakland. You don't see it. There was not one protest in San Francisco or Oakland of people. It was like, who the people who protested the most was like half a dozen women who wanted to go to a hair salon when Nancy Pelosi was caught at the hair salon. That was literally it. Was like a half a dozen middle-aged women who were like, well, she's getting her hair done, I'm getting my hair done. And they were like neighbors of Pelosi, in the high-end neighborhood in San Francisco. That was it, bro. So it's sad. It's really sad. They don't care, they don't know. And yeah, that's how it's gonna be. So Larry Elder or anybody, whoever, I don't even know how the governor, quote unquote Republican, won after that governor, Gray Davis, I think his name was, had been recalled. But unfortunately, I don't think now, like, that's one party rule, bro, for forever. It's over. It's done. Sad.
yeah.
And even the people who are protesting in New York at Balenciaga, those are pretty much professional protesters. I mean, I know I won't say who, but these people are out there protesting everything for press. So, yes, it's good that they're protesting it, but that one group, there's two groups actually that I'm familiar with that go out and they protest most of the things that I agree with, but I still can't really get on board with, like, if you're like a professional protest group. I can't really get on board with the validity of that. I don't know if you saw, Eric, that Kyle from Nelk put out a video going into a Balenciaga. Did you see that? He goes up in BDSM gear and applies for a job in there. And then I think he interacted with those protesters or some protesters outside. And I don't know. That was pretty
You're
funny.
right. You're right. There was, so they were protesting Balenciaga in LA, but I don't think those people were protesting. Like, maybe you had some protests in like Laguna Beach or like some of these weird conservative areas in Los Angeles. And my thing about Kyle, like, he's funny, dude. They've been doing their thing for more than a decade, however long Nelk Boys and Jussie and all them have been doing their funny stuff. But it's crazy, like, how, in my head, like, Kyle, like, that's a celebrity, bro. The people at Balenciaga have never seen Kyle from Nelk Boys.
Well, the thing is, it's weird that it's up to the YouTube prank podcast, Happy Dad Drink Guy, to go in and here and make a point here. Kyle's got, and again, to his credit, he's got probably at least $10 million in his bank account, I would have to assume. And he's the one who has to go. He's the one who's going in to poke fun at Balenciaga. There's no other like person who's willing to go in there and mock them like that. Alex Stein has done that. I should mention him.
Is he from your neighborhood too? Is he from like your neck of the woods in Canada or no?
Kyle is, yeah, he's close to me. I worked with him once. I got a story for him whenever I meet him again, but I met him in 2013 and worked with him once. And he was just a young guy then. They used to have, fun fact, they used to have a set of twins in Elk that left them. That's a tidbit, an Easter egg, if you will. But yeah, he's from the west of Toronto. I'm from east of Toronto. The people that can claim to fame from, like, I live where Ryan Long is from.
Drizzy Drake, bro.
Drake's from the richest area in Toronto you can possibly be from, besides like the literal, like he's from a street that's just mansions. It's called Forest Hill. You just drive down the street, it's just mansion after mansion, and then you get to another set of the neighborhood, and it's just like smaller mansions. So you're going like $6 million houses to maybe like 3 or 4. So maybe that's where he meant he was
That's
from
the
when he was saying started from the bottom. But
that's the Degrassi money, right? If he's making, I don't know, 100 grand a year as a 15-year-old.
I doubt he was making that much. That's
Oh.
that's a Canadian TV show paid for by the government in the 90s. Probably wasn't making that much money.
I don't know. I thought it was
CBS.
Nickelodeon. I I don't know.
We don't have
I
it
bet
here.
you guys have a theory money.
What money? Sorry.
I said I bet you Kanye Drake came from so much money.
Who,
Yeah, I
Kanye?
bet you.
Because he's Jewish. That was the joke.
That was the joke that I was getting at.
It basically you cut out. Yeah, you cut out there.
No, but I'm gonna go ahead and claim second most famous person from where I live after Ryan Long. I'm gonna claim Sum 41 is from where I live too. If you guys are familiar with that band,
Yeah, they played in my college when I was just a wee lad as well.
There's so many weird crossovers for Canadian celebrities. Singer from Sum 41 was married to Avril Lavigne, who was married to the guy from Nickelback. All those sorts of things. I was an intern at a news company when I don't know how old I was. It was like 10 years ago. And I got to work at the Much Music Awards, which is the equivalent to the MTV Video Awards, and see all these people. Like Taylor Swift was there, Avril Lavigne was there, and who else was there? She was there with the guy from Nickelback. All these people were there. And I won't say who, but one of them, okay, I'll say who. So I was in the building standing there, and Avril Lavigne's off in this corner. And I just noticed out of the corner of my eye, Avril Lavigne standing next to this little bridge, this above ground bridge that connects two buildings, enclosed and everything. And there's so many people standing here chatting, and Avril Lavigne's standing next to this hallway, just looking so sketched out, standing by herself. And I'm just like, she's the celebrity in the room, and she's not talking to anyone, and nobody's talking to her. Something really weird's going on. I don't know what her deal was, but I just remember standing there and seeing her being super sketched out, standing by herself. But then again, she's from a really small town. I'm guessing you guys haven't heard all these rumors about Avril Lavigne, and I don't want to get sued. But
Skater Boy, I know she made Skater Boy.
Well, everybody said when she first got famous that she was like, she dated a lot of hockey players and all this stuff, and allegedly, probably not true, Avril, I love you. But there was all these rumors about Avril when she first started, whereas when Justin Bieber first started, it was just like, oh, what a nice boy. He's from whatever, Bradford, Ontario or something. He's a nice boy.
Well, they switched on him, you know. When he started getting the neck tattoos and then people started to hate him. I guess he got a little bit older.
I don't Christ loving. It was the problem, I think.
Oh, did he? Oh, yeah, huh? He kind of turned his life around and went to God.
His wife is the daughter of the super Christian Baldwin. Speaking of Baldwins earlier, Billy Baldwin, I believe he's a super Christian, and that's his wife's daughter.
Wait, so Jason, so we saw you what, I don't know, maybe a couple of weeks ago outside of Balenciaga, I think before the hysteric, before the right, that was like a week or two before the story broke, and then all these big accounts were reposting you. You want to tell us about that? Like, you were doing the Cat Williams. I mean, I know you got Cat Williams and obviously Trump, Biden. I mean, you have a stable of these impressions. Like, how did you link up with them? Did they hit you up? Did you hit them up? Like, you were blowing up there for a little bit.
Oh, Balenciaga and the Cat was in Las Vegas for a film festival because I was in my friend's movie, this little low budget film he did into a festival. So we were out there, and I had a fan out there who was like, "Oh, I love you." He's like, "Cool." So we went out all up and down the strip, and that was just one of the. I was still in my Trump outfit, but I put on my Cat Williams wig, and I'm like, "We are out here outside of Chicago." Like, they fired Kanye, so now Cat Williams is the new face of Balenciaga. Like a week later, and then I don't know. Got my first
Motherfucking Williams is the new face of the Balenciaga, and this woman right here.
Dude, you absolutely nail that one. I don't know. I mean, is that you practice these in the mirror, or they just come naturally? I don't. You don't have to give away the secret, but that one's like if you close your eyes, that's Cat Williams for sure.
I don't practice in the mirror. I just practice all over. I'll practice like I'll be at the store, like I'll be at like Best Buy. I'll be like, "Good evening, ladies and gentlemen," and because I don't care. I just, yeah. I mean, I've been doing impressions since I was third grade, so that was 9, 8, 7.
Okay, so you got this didn't happen overnight.
My first George W. Bush and America, their country is filled with people. There's Ron Barber filming and the evil doers. There he is, Ron. Say hi, Ron. There's Texas.
The internets.
Full much shame on you. Again. So yeah, that was like the first one. I was like 7, and then it just kept going. And
I think the Trump one's really good, bro. The Trump one's really funny.
Trump's hard.
I can't do it. It's like the accordion, the invisible accordion.
Well, I think my Trump. A lot of people have his voice nailed, his voice down perfectly, but what the people, frankly, the mannerisms are one of the best, right? We call it one of the best. And my movements, my Trump posture, my Trump lips, I think, like he's thinking that I know what face to make when he's thinking. I'm not even saying a word. And he was doing his speech that he was announcing he's running again. I got in front of the TV screen and started filming myself, and I was looking at the phone, not him, movements, and I had every movement matched what he and down to the head nod, and whether it's this or this, something like that, or so yeah, that's probably because there's so conversation with you, and you go right, and I just put the head to the side. There are many Trumps, and I think I've carved my my sphere because there's a lot of really talented ones out there, excluding Alec Baldwin. I don't think that's a hate personation.
No, it's just bad.
I forgot about his SNL one, right? Is that what he was doing?
Yeah. The I've noticed it's all a lot of it's transitioned from it used to be all about Trump's speech and everything. And now, especially with what's his name? Why am I forgetting his name all of a sudden? He drinks a lot of beers, fired from SNL. His impression
Shane.
Yeah, and
yeah.
And but it's all a lot of people have developed into that one where it's they did it, that sort of thing.
Right.
And that's been the progression. And it's been really interesting to watch because like
he changed from 2016 to when he was president to now intermediate. What's going to happen? Is he going to come back? He's gotten a lot. He's calm. He like when he was full-blown president, he was the full. He was full Trump. Now I think that he's been diminished a little bit. He's like doing sort of plotting and slower, and it's very focused. Because, like, for instance, what he'll say, what he keeps repeating now is back the country, okay? Because we're being led by I call it the Benadryl administration. And we're not going to have the country. So right now, Trump is a little slower. very sort of stewing, but the vibrato, the bombastic Trump has come down a little bit because, I mean, for obvious reasons, he's slighted.
Yeah. So
And
do you have a pick for 24? I mean, I know we got. I mean, Ye obviously kind of hopped off the rails. I don't know if that was realistic to begin with, but again, I don't think having Kanye West as president is any stranger than the empty suit that we have right now. So obviously, a lot of people are putting DeSantis out there. So, do you have a prediction or a preference for 24?
I would love to see Donald Trump be president, but I have no idea. And like I said, I'm Mr. Optimistic, but at my place, the naysayers and then I don't current strategy is. I know the media is completely shutting him out, including Fox News and New York Post. So I don't know, but I would say never count him out. He wrote The Art of the Comeback. I mean, he times in his life, even before politics. I fear. I'll tell you what my biggest fear is that everybody's saying DeSantis versus Trump. I think that to go against Trump, he'll be destroyed, turned into mincemeat. So DeSantis doesn't run, Trump becomes and then who the hell knows? You know, it's really a prediction about 24 because I really have no idea. But boy, is it exciting!
Yeah, I have zero faith in the legitimacy at this point. I think even what we're seeing here in Arizona is just crazy, and it goes both ways. Like it goes both ways. The left, you know, the hard left, the crazy lefties. If Carrie Lake challenges this stuff and then she ends up being the winner, they're gonna see, and that's the difference, right? The left is gonna burn down Phoenix if they don't get their way, but the right is gonna say, well, we're gonna get a lawyer. So there's those are two different strategies. So we shall see.
We have lawyers in place. That's what Carrie Lake said. We've got 30 lawyers in place. We've paid hundreds of thousands of dollars for I forget what her name is out in California. We're watching all the main counties, and then things still get lost and people still lose. And then the stuff happened in Nevada and the county that Vegas is in, where that changed overnight. And yeah, like all they have to do is basically wait a few days, and then people stop caring about it. And it's up to the people in those states to care about it. I think we're pretty much out of time here. Jason, we got to find a way to get some collabs with you. The internet's been shit today, unfortunately, but we got to start putting more of your stuff out there. So anything you want to send to me or Eric and help you put it out, not that you need it, but I'm definitely willing to post more stuff with you and put it anywhere you want.
And yeah,
go
Andrew,
out and cause some trouble. Just go cause
Andrew,
some trouble.
You got to figure out how to get to New York because we'll talk about it off. But you got to figure out.
I can't enter the country yet, Eric.
Dude, all right, fine.
Eric's like, just go across the border, man.
Yeah, you could have been a naturalized citizen if you had just taken the Mexico route by now.
So fly to Mexico, sneak across one of the many porous border spots.
Yeah,
and then
bring some fentanyl. Yeah.
Don't worry, I've got drugs. Okay, all right.
I'm taking them to San Francisco. All right. Yeah.
All right. You can go there. All right. Unauthorized opinions. UOPod.com, YouTube, Twitter, Getter, and of course, Eric doesn't want me to forget Twitch. We've got one guy on Twitch now, thousands on the other platforms, but the one guy on Twitch, we love you most. And of course, Spotify. Eric, I got this email the other day, and this is a good thing for our fans. I got this email the other day that said I should bring it up. Let me quickly bring it up. We're ranking in some random countries. Let me find this for you before it's gone. I hope I didn't delete it. I might have deleted it. We're ranking in France and I believe in the Netherlands. Just give me 30 seconds. Bear with me.
I also, just for the record, I got an email from Change. I don't know if you guys remember, I was going to start a Change petition to let us more vertically challenged guys try out for the NBA. So I get these Change petitions, and they want me to sign to get Kanye's music off Spotify, and it's not going to happen.
What does that even mean, though?
They want to take Ye's music off Spotify because College Dropout has apparently something to do with an Alex Jones interview from a week ago. which we're talking about 2
That-
decades here. Now I'm getting triggered, but you started talking about emails, and I got that email, and I don't like it.
Well, it's on our our podcast email, so I can't get it right now. But we were ranked like
You got to
20th or something.
screenshot that, bro. Screenshot that, send it to me. I want to post it. We're big in France now, so everybody knows.
It was like 20th in comedy podcasts in the Netherlands at the beginning of the first 3 weeks of November, then like hundredth or something like that in France in the same time. And it's just like, by the way, you've been ranked in these things. Please sign up for more ranking results. And I was like, what the hell? And I check and shout out Dutch people, I guess. I mean, maybe there's not that much competition out there, but we'll start talking about clogs, I guess, and stuff. I don't know.
Crocs. All right, sounds good. Buy my book.
I don't know if Crocs are.
If I could just plug one thing, I
Of course.
host the Donald Trump podcast every night, and basically I'm Trump every episode and host a weekly podcast. Yeah, so the Donald J. Trump podcast, and Instagram and Jason Scoop Comedy on TikTok. I do impressions all over New York City, all over the country. Yeah, we have a lot of fun.
Hold on, let me bring this up for you since it's choppy. I'd like to.
Yeah, you
bring
can put
this
it
up for
in
you
the
here.
bio too, right? Can you drop the link there?
Obviously, we can drop the link there, but
There
here's a version of that. This is the first thing that came out, so don't blame me. Jason Scoop, Donald J. Trump podcast, Ashley Biden's diary.
This is not your channel, is it?
A clip
No.
of Trump tattoo. That's a clip of me on the Rated G type.
Dude, I forgot. I remember your Kanye tattoo. I forgot about the Trump tattoo. That's crazy. There we go.
There we go. Donald J. Trump podcast, Jason Scoop's comedy on YouTube. Alive subscribing. All right, we'll see you guys next time. UOPod.com. Thanks, Jason, for joining us.
Thank you. My pleasure.
Turn it up, Jordan.